Up going, having a shower. I remember stripping off, and I remember my arresting officer Damien went, excuse me, oh my God, Matt, look at this state. What happened to you? Because around my waist and up here, I've been at sea for 2 weeks, and everything's moving around you, and you're knocking into things, but it's all like that height. So I'm all bruised to fuck around here. Like I had a kick in or something, because I didn't actually look at myself over the last 2 weeks, but when I've been knocking into stuff at sort of waist height on a yacht, on a boat, then you get bruised. So I was like, oh my God, I got to stay. And he went, fucking hell, what's happening to you? Well, it's called smuggling, mate, trying to bring some hashish into your country. So he was like, I was there for 7 days, 7 or 8 days, and it got to the stage where I was like, I've never been in prison before. I've never been in a cell in my life, ever. I was terrified.
Are you housed with your co-defendants? Are you separated?
Separated. Oh, they did the good cop, bad cop. It was one of those things all night. And they were so chuffed. Everyone was so chuffed.
Big headline.
Oh, mate, they loved it. Oh, my God, we got 1.5 tons. Do. But I didn't realise that. I didn't realise how infamous or famous I was going to become with what was going on. I just thought, my name's Matt. I've been never going to. The worst phone call ever was ringing up Joey. The phone call said, Joey, I'm fucked, mate. What? Been busted. Oh, shit. So she was, poor little Joey, was stuck in Gibraltar, stuck in La Linea, with a sold my Tagger watch for like $1,000 that I loved, things like that, and got enough money and flew back to the UK within sort of 6 weeks, because she knew she could sort of go on the dole and become somebody back in the UK than Gibraltar. But yeah, so there's Damien there and a bit of food, and they just take us all out individually. There was Barry, there was Rick, there was me, and they just take us out at different times of the day and night and just interrogate us basically. Who did what? It wasn't violent or anything like that. It was just like asking us questions, and you're tired and you're fucked off with all this. And then Damien got quite friendly. He used to push newspapers under the door for me. That's a lot of this came from, I think. It was like this, that, and this, and that, and this. And I remember I was walking outside having a fag with him, and I said to him, like, what's this? He said, Matt. Irish, he said, blood's thicker than water. I thought, oh, fucking, I'm going to get killed when I go to fucking prison. Oh my God, I'm going to die. I was so scared. I was terrified. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to go to prison. Proper prison now. Grown up world.
So you got transported to which prison?
Rathmore Road in Cork.
What was your first day in prison like?
That was that was the one. That was the crescendo, because I was terrified. Absolutely terrified. I'm going to prison. I mean, I'm going to prison. So I just decided my Lucas aid. So I'm going to prison, and I'm thinking, after what Damien said, I'm going to get this shit kicked out of me. I'm going to get killed. I'm going to get this. Because obviously you hear about prison from other people, and do you think this is the way it is? You're going to get raped and
You've
this.
seen Shawshank and all that.
Yeah, you've seen all the films. So obviously I know so much different now from being all the years in prison. So I got caught. Like, it got to the stage actually where I was actually quite looking forward to it, but scared, because I just wanted to get out of my cell, because I've been in a local Nick cell for sort of 7 or 8 days, and they've got a little tiny room, nothing going on. They give you a bit of a ding-dong meal now and again, the odd newspaper. It was really boring. And we finally got transferred to Rathmore Road in Cork, which is quite a secure prison. And so I was put in a sort of a 6-man cell with Rick and Barry and myself and some other people, which is like a 2-man cell, a 6-man cell. And well, I'm sure you know from your thing, but back in Ireland they call it rec time, where in the evening time you go up to the sort of room with a cage over your goddamn fucking telly and you watch a bit of telly and that. So I was there with Barry and Rick, and I went, I got to do it. The thing about me, I get very scared and very worried. I'm not a fighter. I can't fight for nothing. I'm a good runner, but I can't run anymore because of my fucking chest. But I am a good runner. I can run I used to be able to run really well, but I can't run now because of my fucking cancer. But yeah, so I said to Rick and Barry, I got to do this. I got to break the ceiling. I got to go up and see what's going to go on, because I'm fucking frightened. But I need to go up, and I'm going to be here for a long time now, and we all are. They both stayed in their cells, bless them. So I went to rec, and I remember seeing this. It was a big basketball court, and the TV's at the end. It's only a fucking 32-inch telly. It's tiny. It's a proper tube one and everything. There's nothing modern. And cage over the front of it. So I remember going out and grabbing a chair and pushing it right to the back, and just sitting there like that in my chair, thinking, here we go. Because I'm thinking, Irish, English, they're going to kill me. They're going to do this. I'm a real git. And I was sitting like that. I was thinking, I was so scared. And I'm looking at the telly, and guess what I see on the telly?
You're bust.
Me coming out of fucking court in a red fucking boat. In my red jackets. Saw me coming out looking like that. Saw me coming out looking like that. Saw me coming out with my head like that, my head down. And I was actually walking out. I was actually walking out of court. Then guess what happened? Everybody stood up and cheered. On my life. There's me absolutely terrified. But I didn't hurt anybody in Ireland. I didn't rob them or kill them. It all of a sudden turned around. I was doing a service for Ireland. 1 minute I thought I was going to be killed. Next minute they've all jumped up. Oh my God, it's him. And they've come over, started shaking my hand and going, oh my God, man, you okay? Do you need something? Do you want this? Do you want that? You got any hash on you? Yeah, just like a bar of hash at me arse. I'm fine. You can have a bit of that. It'll be fine. It's like that. It was like within seconds, I become a hero. Just like that. And there's me terrified that I'm going to be killed because I didn't look at the mathematical equation of how it works. I was smuggling cannabis into their country, and a good 90% of these people in here smoke. Another one is a joint. And they were hassling me straight away, have you got a joint? I said, oh, no, I haven't got a joint. So within seconds, from 1 minute I'm terrified, the next minute, don't go near him, he's the man. He's the man. And it was like that, and it was so nice how it transferred from one thing to another, just like that.
That's your good karma, man.
Well, that's it. It was the craziest thing. So after that, life escalated in prison. It was brilliant. I had such a good time in prison. Really, I got my own cell. I got this. I was an artist. I used to paint pictures. And my nickname was Howard or Mr. Nice. Remember the book?
Yeah, Mr. Nice.
That was my nickname, Mr. Nice. And nobody touched me. Not that there was never any violence in the nick. There was some stupid people, their own little fucking issues. That was fair enough. But oh no, that's Matt. No, you can't go near him. He's cool. I had so much tobacco from selling my paintings. I just sort of spread it around the cells. I was doing so much burn, as they called it, and But it was mental the way it changed for me. I was so terrified that it turned into, oh fuck me, I'm a hero here. How cool is that? And like everybody used to sort of come up to me and say, Matt, can you do me a portrait of this? And I had my art classes. I used to do big oil paintings for the screws.
And how did the screws treat you?
Oh,
guards?
Really well, because I was a nice guy. I was there for a long time.
Did they have slapping out?
Yeah, we had a little fucking circular thing like, in the morning, and
you had to piss and shit in a pot.
Yeah, but obviously I didn't shit in it. I just used to piss in it. There was no TVs and all that in Ireland. And like I said, I had a 14-day rotation menu, which was fucking boring for 3 years.
What was your favourite item on the menu?
Rice pudding.
Rice pudding.
I used to love rice pudding.
What did you hate?
Well, I don't know. They always used to like ham and mash and stuff like that. But there was nothing really that I hated. I just needed to stay alive, I suppose. But it was, if I couldn't believe it, 14. Well, I did believe it because I thought that's how prison was. A 14-day rotation menu to come to the UK. But I did that for like 3 years. I was banged up there.
And how was this trial going, the situation?
Well, the thing was I was getting arraigned every sort of 3 or 4 weeks, which means they have to take us out of the cell, strip search us, look at us, stick us in a fucking taxi and send us to a court and arraign you and send you back. And while the trial was there, to keep on sort of rearresting you all the time. It was quite crazy. It was mental. And this is something that really got me to this day was I was sitting in my cell with Rick and Barry and... it's a new guy in my cell. This is so fucking weird and true. Some guy in my cell. I don't know. All right. Do you guys want to escape? I said, what? Because they knew we were smugglers and we could do stuff. Yeah. I'm not going to say who they were, but you've all got your mind's eye about Ireland and so on and so forth. So I said, what? He said, do you want to escape? I said, well, who are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, he said, you're in court in a couple of weeks to be rearranged. He said, I'll be in court. I thought, oh, the fuck you mean court? You're in prison cell with me. He said, I'll be in court in 2 weeks' time. And he says, if you want to escape, just nod. Because the thing was, there was no, they weren't sort of vans that were high security. They were taxis. They just take us to fucking court in taxis every 3 weeks to get us rearranged all the time. Or, people carrier. And there was me, Rick and Barry. We were cuffed. We were sitting there with a couple of prison officers. Off we went. I was sitting in the court. Oh, here we go again. Okay, yeah. You are you, yeah. Okay, yeah. And the thing was, he came in, he was there for 24 hours and he left. How the fuck did he come into prison, speak to me and Barry and Rick, and leave? Then I saw him 2 weeks later in the court. And we'd already decided no. I said, I'm not going to be... Because obviously they wanted us for our abilities, basically. What we could do, we could sail, we could move things, this, that and the other. And I went... And he just left. But if I'd have gone like that, I'm sure anybody would have got in a taxi, people would have come around out with guns, dragged us out of a taxi, and off we went. And we'd have been... I couldn't believe it. It was the maddest thing that somebody came into my cell in court prison, which was quite high, and just did that.
Did not appeal to your adrenaline junkie side, or was that too far?
That was just getting too much, that was. And you're sitting in prison. And the thing was, I resigned myself to prison. It was a case of, I had no visitors. I said to Joey and my kids and all that, and my kid, I want nobody to visit me. Because I'm in my own ecosystem here. And I'm doing my time. And that's it. And I saw guys coming back from their visits crying. And I get a phone call every day. A quick phone call to the family. Say, hi, how you doing? I mean, I write letters. And my art was so good. I was doing so many paintings. And I was selling it to the screws. Every Christmas, I sent no money. Nobody ever sent me money. I was making more money in the nick than anything. And I was selling my lovely paintings to the screws for like £200. It would go into my account. So at Christmas, I send money home to Joey and my little girl Amber Jade, and they could buy swings and this, that, and the other. I say Barry did his own thing, but Rick, I never realised how clever he was. He was a brilliant carpenter. And the thing was, we were a good advertisement for the prison. We're in the newspaper and everything. Going, these guys, look at this. Rathmore Road Prison's really cool because they've got this artist in there. They could do this. There's portraits and paintings. I was doing forgeries of fucking Van Gogh, but they were forgeries though. They were a case of. I did say they were forgeries. They weren't. I didn't actually, because I got Maria Hegarty, my art teacher, and Billy Foley, who's done a lovely picture of me, who's quite famous now. The art, he was one of my art teachers. That it was a case of. It was like a. They used to buy me anything. They're like, she said, I think Maria Hegarty said they got £40,000 a year to spend on the art class. And they were a bunch of twats, most of them. They're recidivists, which I love that word. They'd be like in and out of prison. I'd be sitting there and I'd see the same guy come into prison over the years I was there about 20 times. I had the same thing when I went back to Wandsworth. It was a case of like, guys that were crackheads and that, they'd go out and, do their crack and nick some CDs and get back to prison and get fed for a month. Big himself up and go and do it again. And then come back in again. And that was their life. There was like, oh, well, please put me in prison. I need to eat some food. And
so in court, how much time are they telling you you're facing?
22.
22. And how are you dealing with that psychologically at this stage?
I'm fine with it now.
No, I mean back then.
Oh, back then I was terrified. But I didn't know that, to be honest. I can't say that now because I didn't know that till the end of the trial. It was one of those things where I didn't realise that I was looking at 22 until A.G. Murphy, my judge, said that.
So you're in court and you hear that, and what is that like? Boom to the head.
Well, no, because it was the end.
It's the end.
It was the end of the trial. He gave me 8 years.
Okay, but the first time you heard 22 years,
terrifying.
Yeah,
it was a case of we had our trial went on for a long time, and I said we went not guilty because what happened was we had solicitors, but it was legal aid. But hey, when you're in prison for 1.5 terms, every fucker wants to be on every solicitor wants to be a bit of you, because they get the airtime, they get a bit of telly, they get a bit of newspaper. So we had this guy come down from Dublin, a little tiny guy, I don't think of his name now anyway, but he came down and he was like, £2,000-3,000 a day if you wanted this sort of a guy. But it was free to us, and he was doing it free because he could get himself on the telly. He could get in the newspaper. He was like, oh my God, we're doing this and this. And he found little tiny clause in all these books saying that, 17-something, this, that, and the other, it's an act of piracy if you board somebody's boat. It was like, well, go for it. Matt, go not guilty, go not guilty, go not guilty. So he went not guilty for nearly a year. fighting it. Well, I wasn't fighting it. They were fighting it. I wasn't sitting like in my cell reading law books. I was just like letting them get on with it. And they said, do this, Matt. And so basically on the last day, they said, we ain't, because I was listening to A.G. Murphy talking, and he just sort of went over the top of it and went, I don't think you should be like this, and went over the top, moving into this. And you're looking at 22 years, then called it a day. And then one of the, being this, one of the jury's woman came back and they found some evidence in the information about us that shouldn't have been there. So the trial was dropped. So we had to be, it's really funny because we actually left. We were free. We were fucking free.
Do you remember what that information was?
I'm not sure. It was something that she found in the box of material regarding our case that she looked at and went, that shouldn't have been in here. And it was told back to the judge and the jury and all that. And it was like the case was dropped. Wow. So we were actually freed. Fucking free. But we knew we weren't free. And so then you can go. Now you're free to go. What? And we walked out of the court and we were rearrested.
Oh.
But it gave us a chance to change our plea. So Taff, one of my solicitors at the time, said, Matt, go guilty, mate. Go guilty now. So I went back in, blah, 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 and just turned around and said, yeah, I'm going to go guilty. And that's when I got 8. And I said, oh, yeah, I'll go guilty now. And he said, well, I was going to give you 22 years, but you've gone guilty. And I'm going to give you 8. And it's really funny for someone that's never been in prison in their life before to be jumping up and down with happiness to get 8 years in prison.
Yeah. When I got 9.5, it was one of the happiest days of my life.
You got
as
9.
Well. I felt that.
Yeah,
relief.
is it still a half? Is it still halves in the States, or is it?
I had a lawyer who got a loophole for me, so I ended up serving 6 on 9.5.
You did 6 behind the door, yeah?
Yeah, you're supposed to do 85 mostly. Depends on the seriousness of your crime.
Okay.
If it's a murder, then
because
you're
the
do all of
UK's
it.
half if you're good.
Yeah, it's not that in America. It's like you do nearly all of it.
Really?
Yeah. So I was facing decades, and when they told me 9.5 years, that was like, whew, so happy.
Isn't it the weirdest thing? Yeah. You get told that your first time in the nick, you think, I got 8 years. Yay! I was like, God damn, it's